Hey, welcome back. We have some pens here. Gotta get these opened up real quick here. And hopefully not cutting through the boxes. All right, let me just take this off the screen really quickly and get them out of here so that my personal info doesn't get exposed. Sweet. Pretty stoked to check this out. I've been wanting to get my hands on one of these for quite a while. This is the Tactile Turn Smooth Operator. Wonder what this tool is for. I've not seen them send a tool like that before. Interesting. If you're not familiar with Tactile, they make great pens for a reasonable price. This is a $100 standard model plus a $25 maybe Damascus bolt on it. But they have these very distinct, I'd say, turn lines and a very, very tight tolerance. You can't see it right here, but there's actually a tip there that is just amazing how seamless it is. But the Smooth Operator is introduces like a non-turn line version, and I wanted to check it out. It's also just got, I think, like a tumbled finish or something like that on it. Oh yeah, that's really nice. It's also a little thinner, I'm noticing. Not sure if I realized that when I grabbed it. A little rough on the action, frankly. Another difference of this and the standard is the standard bolt does not have a, I guess that's maybe what this is all about here. Does not have a, what do you call it, like a hex pattern in it. And then the standard one doesn't have this little pattern here where the break is. And what they're actually allowing you to do here is to put a smaller tip on it to run different refills. So this one would run like a GT refill here. There it is, our standard G2 refill, right? But you could also buy for only, I think it was like $20 more or something. I didn't do it, I just bought two different pens, but you can also buy a smaller tip that's good for like a Easy Flow 9000 from Schmidt. Or a Parker size, I guess would be the more standard term. And there it is. So you can see the difference there. Pretty big difference. But the top of the body is the same, which is different than what they've done in the past. So this is a pretty cool new approach, I think, and hopefully will resonate with a lot of you all. This one's a little smoother, but man, their springs are just so hard. So I actually replaced the spring in mine. Is it this one or is it the other one? Maybe I replaced it in my other one. Hang on. And I found that that made me like the Tactile a lot more. This one's their Stonewash model here. So you can see the Stonewash. Oh yeah, that's the one where I did it. And that just feels so easy and nice and light. And that I really felt like made a big difference. So let me see if I can do that here as well. I guess I'll probably try that here with this shorter one. Okay, so they've got a pretty strong spring there. Just kind of curious how this feels without anything in there. A little gooey actually on this one. Interesting. I have to run this experiment a couple times here. And let's try this other spring that I put in here. And we'll try it on here and see if it works. This is not like a standard refill that I'm used to, but it is the same size. So I don't know if that's their own refill or what they're doing there. Who's that by? It says Oto Gel on there. I don't know. Maybe you know what this brand is. It's made in Japan, it says, but should operate the same as this guy, hopefully. So let's try that slightly lighter spring in this one first, and then maybe we can try it in the big one next if it works. Not sure if that particular spring will work on a G2. This won't unfortunately go back because it is a little gooey. So that just straight up didn't work. Okay, so failure to launch there. Interesting. Let's go ahead and put the standard spring back in there. And then we'll tinker a little more here. So yeah, it's a very strong spring rate. It does make for quite a noise, but just between the shape of the screw or bolt or whatever you want to call that, and that rate and feel, I do rather like this feel a lot more. Let's see what we can accomplish on this guy over here. This one's a lot grittier. Maybe that would work in over time, but definitely a lot grittier. Let's see what kind of spring we have in this one. Okay, totally different spring. Sorry. So that's a bigger spring there. You can actually see in the bag are two different springs for the two different refills, I imagine. Let's see if we can find a replacement for that. That might feel good. Got my little spring box here. Da-da-da. Sorry for the absolute mess here. I'll move some of this off here so it starts looking a little less chaotic. All right. Sorry for those of you that found that to be unsightly. Let's see what we can find here. This feels like a pretty strong spring. This one's very reasonable. I think it's a standard G2 refill spring, if I recall correctly. It may not work though. It may not be long enough for this. Let's see what happens. All right, did work, and it is lighter. Not a lot lighter, but a little bit. So that might be an option. But yeah, it's not a lot lighter, if really at all. I guess I could try it on my scale or something like that and see what it reads, but yeah, I'd say overall, you got a little bit of inconsistency there on the action. So that one's quite a bit different, right? It's not as gooey as the other, but it's rougher sounding. You can feel there's some play in there. So that's kind of expected, but the pen itself, I'm gonna say, is really the part I like the most here. The pen body, this top is quite a bit different here. This is like a pretty different pen, all things considered. And that makes it pretty cool that the same company's offering such a diverse pen here. It's just not as smooth as my old one. Now maybe that's something that breaks in over time, but consistently across both of these, I've got like a different action, and that's not great. I do really like the feel in hand. Like, this finish is very nice, and I like the size a lot. This one I always felt like was a little too fat in hand. Didn't like the feel of it. The standard Tactile, I know that they also make a slim model. This is much closer to the slim model, and I really like that element of it for sure. So from a body perspective, a clip perspective, I like the changes here. Just don't love the action, unfortunately, compared to either of my other two here, which I feel like both feel a little bit better, especially this one with the the lighter spring in it. So I think that's all I really have to report here. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please feel free to like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care.